Whole thing, just everything. Nope, other way, my bad. No, you're right, back the other way. More. More. A little more. Okay, that's good. You guys stand right here. Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. I'm Izzy Swan and I'm here with Mike Z from Klingspor, and today we're going to do some product videos. So over the course of today and the next day we're going to do some product videos of some of the stuff here in the shop. Now, a quick explanation, I guess it's been about 4 months ago?
Yeah.
About 4 months ago, I talked to Klingspor about helping me outfit the Maker's Playground, or the brick and mortar side of Maker's Playground, which is my shop. And it's not just for me. This place is meant to be a content collaboration space. So content creators are welcome to come here, work with me on videos, make videos of their own, or meet with other content collaborators or content creators to collaborate on products. And my goal here was really to provide really safe, good, decent equipment that people could use, from table saws to bandsaws to CNCs, you know, 3D printers coming down the pipe, and even some metalworking stuff coming. So just have a really good space that's well equipped for content creators to create content. Klingspor was generous and jumped right in and helped outfit the woodworking space with some really great tools. Now, the object of these videos is not to sell you on anything, but rather to give you an in-depth look at some of the equipment that's here at the shop. And maybe that will help you make some decisions down the road in your decision-making process when it comes to equipment. We're here to talk about the experience of woodworking with the equipment and why I found it useful, why I picked it, and Mike's going to help kind of give us all the good stuff that I'm going to miss.
All the little tips and tricks that I've come across over the years.
You'll see several videos over the course of the next couple of days coming out here on the second channel. And again, if you have any questions, throw them in there. We'd love to answer questions and help with anything that we can. And let's get rocking and rolling.
Sounds good.
All right, want to start with the saw stop?
Let's do it.
All right, saw stop it is, y'all. So I want to start off by talking about my experience with the saw. Now, I come from industry. I've worked on a lot of cabinet grade saws over the years, and this is on par with a good cabinet saw. Just from its cast iron top to its nice heavy base, the way the trunnions are put in place, the way the motor is mounted, everything about it just screams quality cabinet saw. So from just a woodworking aspect of it, it is a very good, solid saw. Now, the heavier the saw you get, the better performance you're going to get out of a saw, provided the motor power is there. And there's a 3 horsepower motor in here, which for a shop is really a decent sized motor. You can get a 5 horsepower version of this, but unless you're doing some really serious ripping all the time, 3 horse will really get the job done for you. A couple of things about the saw: the cast iron top, the cast iron body make for a really good anti-vibration. And I know it sounds a little silly, but if you think about like a hybrid or a job site saw, they vibrate quite a bit, and they serve a purpose really well for that. But when you're building fine furniture, or you're cutting a lot of stuff that you're going to use in nicer projects, the less vibration a saw has, the smoother, the cleaner the cuts, regardless of the blade that you have in it. So that really makes for a nice experience and a nice quality finish. So that's been one thing that I've really been enjoying about it. Now, because we're putting this in a place where other people are going to be using this, and I can't suss out everybody's woodworking ability or their skill level or their experience, having the safest saw in the space is absolutely a must. And when it comes to safety, SawStop has it hands down. So as a woodworker, really the first thing that comes to mind after the table saw itself is the fence system. And SawStop has a Biesmeyer style fence system, which means it glides super easy. It's really easy to adjust. And what I mean by that is it's easy to adjust to the blade. Now, once your blade is adjusted to your tracks, you can adjust the fence to the blade really easily. Some micro adjustments right here built into the fence make it super simple to do. So that was something I really enjoyed about this system in particular. Let's come with a miter gauge, and this one is pretty robust in the way as miter gauges go. If you want to up your game too, you can check out this one. This is the one I use, called an Osborne, and that also makes the saw even more usable. So really happy with the Osborne system. That with the SawStop is absolutely a great system. I'm going to invite Mike over to tell us a little bit more about the specs of it, how the whole finger safety thing works, and we'll talk a little bit more about that.
So we get the question, why the SawStop saw? Other than the fact that it is the world's safest table saw, one of the key features of its safety is the 2-switch system. Right here you notice you have the master on switch, And what these lights are doing is going through a diagnostic to make sure your blade cartridge is engaged and make sure the blade is actually attached and your doors are shut. Then you can turn on the saw once it's a solid green light. So when you have the saw engaged, you'll have a green light ready to go, so you can turn it on just by pulling the paddle. And what this light's going to do is tell you when you have a problem. For instance, if you're running wet wood and you put it in bypass mode takes the safety mode off. But when you run a piece of wood through, you'll see the red light engage, which looks like this. That will tell you that the piece you're cutting in bypass mode will in fact trigger the safety mechanism. So let's say you're in a shop with several different users on the saw and you put it in bypass mode to run a piece of wet board or something you found that would be conductive and cause a safety problem.
Would you explain how to put it in bypass mode, even though we can't right now because my kid ran off with the key?
So the key would normally go on the side right here, it's a small brass key, and you turn it for 2 seconds and these lights will go back and forth to let you know that it's engaged in bypass mode.
Okay.
Alright, and then when you're cutting the board, if for reason that it is going to conduct, you'll notice that this light stays flashing for a while because you never want to take your eyes off the cut. But after you're done cutting, if you take a look and see the blinking light, then you know it will engage. But if I'm cutting something, Izzy, and it's in bypass mode, okay, we're going to turn it on. And I shut it off, you'll notice that it's still safety engaged, it's still ready to activate. If it's in bypass mode and you shut it off and turn it right back on again, it automatically defaults to the safety mode no matter what.
Okay, so if you need to put it in default mode or bypass mode and leave it on if you're running a bunch of wet wood.
Correct, and if I'm cutting a bunch of wet wood, then all of a sudden you come up and you just need to cut one thing and I've shut it off and you turn it back on, it will default back to safety mode.
Okay, that's great.
So one of the other reasons that we like SawStop is that it has a motor housing that's magnetic, easy on, easy off, but the TFEC motor that's completely in-housed, fan-cooled, you'll notice that there is a 4-inch flexible dust hose. That hose is a shroud around the blade which actually catches about 92% of the dust, and then in the back has a 4-inch port.
I will mention it catches 92% of the dust when I have my dust collector attached to it. Right now I don't, I just move dust collectors, so yeah.
Excuses, excuses.
Yeah.
How this all works is that there is a small amount of voltage running through the arbor into the blade, causing an open circuit. And then once you have something of conductance, you touch the blade or it touches the blade, especially like your finger.
Wait. Is conductance really a word?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So anything of amount of conductance that will close the circuit, then you will have a spring that engages, and it takes a block of aluminum that's been engineered to be like a crumple zone in a car, and it digs itself into the teeth, and then as you can see right here, it distorts itself, and so it's sitting in the saw like this. And what happens is that this brake will kick it into the blade, then it drops below the table, and all that happens in less than 5 milliseconds, which is faster than what your eye can actually perceive light.
Eek, erk, eek. Did that get your toes?
Nope.
That's good. Okay, so my experience with the saw has been great. A really good cabinet saw. Obviously, the added feature of the finger safe technology is absolutely amazing, and in this case, because I'm going to have a lot of different people in here working, it's an absolute must. Now, the price point on this is right around $3,000. That's with the 3 horsepower saw, the 36-inch outfeed table. I did not get the legs for it to move around because I'm just going to leave it in one spot. And once I got it in one spot, leveled it out, and it's been great. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching this video. There will be more videos on other products like the bandsaw and the drill press and other things I have in the shop coming shortly. Again, if you have any questions, throw them down there in the comment section. Mike and I will keep an eye out for them, and we'll answer them the best that we can. Talk to y'all later.